Have you ever sat through or made a presentation and you could see that many people were almost asleep and bored to death? What are we doing wrong? In this video, we're learning 3 communication mistakes people make in presentations and how to avoid them. And the first mistake is the curse of knowledge. Imagine you explaining how to play a video game like Street Fighter to a friend who has never ever played. You wouldn't start by explaining the special attacks, right? You would explain the basic control first and maybe the objectives. Or for instance, imagine explaining why Interstellar is such a good movie. You would not start by explaining the movie is about wormholes, right? You would introduce the basic plot first. So sometimes we are so excited about a topic that we forget that not everyone else is on the same page. Just because you're an expert in our field or have been researching a topic for days and weeks doesn't mean that the audience had the same level of understanding. So to avoid this mistake, first start with the basics. We have to take a moment when we speak to establish a foundation for our topic, even if it seems obvious for us. So we have to provide context, clarify the terms that might be ambiguous or too vague for others, and build on our points progressively. At the same time, you have to assess our audience understanding. Do they seem puzzled or are they nodding along? We can just ask simple questions to check if what we say is clear enough and adjust accordingly. And if some points need clarification, we can use some analogies or examples to make the presentation more engaging. The second mistake is death by PowerPoint. I know someone who likes to make presentations. In fact, he thinks he's quite good at it. The only issue that he uses PowerPoint and his slides are densely packed with text, graphs and images. No jokes. He has like a 40-slide presentation where he can use 3 different font size and 8 different font types on the same slide. The writing are so small that he has to zoom in to see what is written. Worse, he's even convinced that his slides are well organized, but from someone in the audience, they look like he played Tetris a bit too much. Now imagine having to go through a 1-hour presentation by that person. It would drive you insane, right? To avoid this mistake, we should focus on clarity by prioritizing the most important aspect of our message and not going into too much details. And if you want to add these details, then it's better to say them out loud rather than writing them on the slide itself. Use visuals, images, charts to illustrate what we want to say. Also, keep the slides simple and structured. The idea is to keep them visually appealing and easy to understand at a glance. When I make a presentation, I like to keep in mind that it's one slide, one idea. Third, even though only one person is speaking at a time in a presentation, it's still a two-way street. I've been to countless presentations, some made by really smart people and experts that put me to sleep within minutes. It was just one point after another, and I couldn't care less after 2 or 3 slides. Sometimes I really wanted to care because I knew the person speaking, but it was like my eyes were saying, no way, it's just too boring. The truth is that we could have the best content ever, but if we can't deliver it in a captivating way, our presentation is not engaging enough. So how do we make connections with the audience? First, we have to read the room. Just look at the audience body language and facial expressions. Are they engaged or bored? Do they look confused or interested? If you are not sure, ask them questions. Give them opportunities to participate and be more active. For instance, I remember a group presentation during my MBA. The group was supposed to make a presentation about Chipotle's business model, and they started by giving every other groups some nachos. And it was crazy because while we were all eating, these guys were explaining how Chipotle was making money selling nachos. Insane, right? Second, use storytelling, humor, metaphors, or anecdote to create emotions and a connection with the audience. Yes, making eye contact is good, but it's not enough. What makes a presentation shift from average to amazing is our ability to make the audience feel something. And to do that, tell stories, use humor, use metaphor. Even if you're just making a presentation with charts and bar graphs, try to make it more interesting and engaging by maybe explaining what the data means. So thanks for watching. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. If some point resonates with you or if you have any questions, leave a comment below. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please consider doing so. Talk to you soon.